they're gonna wait a while as well, get some storms on him, and he's gonna hope to not use them as long as possible, so that each High Templar at the very least has 2 storms on them. Each High Templar has 2 storms, and they're so useful. He's gonna do it. Finally, Spire on the way now, so probably gonna get some Scourge out there, knowing that there are some observers most likely on the way. You really want some Scourge for observer sniping, if not just sniping up and get rid of those pesky Corsairs. Very Dragoon heavy now here for JangBi. This is the kind of style we often see from Stork. He plays very heavy on the Dragoons, even against Zerg players, and has exquisite, I'm using that word to describe StarCraft, I know, exquisite Dragoon micro. He really, he fails like everybody else in the world does sometimes, but generally does a very good job. Oh! Corsair barely managed to get out of the way. Takes quite a few Corsair fires. Corsair shots. Corsair fire, Hydra shots. What am I talking about? Fire from Hydras. Dear God, my brain is slowly melting, and it happens all the time. Let's see. Range on the goons just finished, I believe. They're goons, and as soon as that finished, JangBi deciding to move out. Has quite a few dragoons. They also, of course, act as large meat shields for High Templars. I think he has some Zealot in the mix. Does he? I don't see any Zealots in the mix. Actually, he had some observers as well, and this is actually a very good anti-lurker army that JangBi has on the ground right now. They had 1 or 2 Zealots, has some observers as well. He's going to be able to gun down these lurkers in no time with these dragoons. Sure, they're going to take a few shots, but they're going to be able to gun down these lurkers, no problems whatsoever. Nothing to take out that observer. A bunch of those lurkers are going to die just now. Hydras and Zerg is going to come in. Storms are going to come in from JangBi on top of all those forces. Oh, God. Beautiful storms from JangBi. Firefist thought he had JangBi in a corner, thought he had him in a vice, but several storms get him right out of there. Sure, JangBi lost some forces there, but it really ripped apart everything Firefist sent at him. Beautiful storms. Has an Archon alongside now to support. Not new as many numbers as he had earlier, but managing to save his observer as well. More Zealots coming in support, running down now. His weapons, 1 on his own ground force. I'm wondering, don't they think I ever saw even one Evo Chamber actually come out? Another storm going to come on top of those eggs alongside the lurker. Another storm. Hit some hunters, not as much. Third storm going to hit the better. And, of course, really the fact that he kept those High Templars waiting for a while really coming in handy. Now all those storms can have a second Archon come in. Some forces are going to come in from the back. They're going to get picked off. The Archon most likely going to go down. Does go down. There are some Hydras on all sides. 1 more High Templar in the mix. And now finally JangBi is going to be pushed back yet again. But he's actually using this opportunity to try to pick up a base at the 3 o'clock position. Has put down a couple of cannons. They're going to try to plop down an Nexus. Has 6 Dragoons running back. And 1 High Templar. High Templar might actually get sniped. JangBi trying to prevent that from happening from these Zerglings. Trying to pick up the Zerglings. Might have to sacrifice a Dragoon actually do that. More Dragoons actually coming in to support. Quite a few Dragoons coming in to support. So he just managed to save that High Templar. And really, JangBi's storms just saving him. Because if he hadn't had all those storms saved up, or if he had hit badly with those storms, he really could have gotten surrounded badly and just pincered off and killed, and Firefist would be really ahead right now. But he's just going to continue putting on the pressure on Firefist on that bridge. Of course, Firefist, the fact that he has that 6 o'clock position means that he will have another opportunity to go for a vice, try to box in JangBi's forces. JangBi, meanwhile, apparently splitting up his forces a little bit across the bridge so that he's a little bit more wary of that. Sending out Zealots, I think a High Templar as well towards that 6 o'clock. Actually, never mind. That was not a High Templar. Quite a few Zealots, though, forcing some of those forces away. I'm wondering whether he's trying to go for dual power attack, trying to distract Firefist at the 6 o'clock location. Going to run his Zealots back, though. As soon as a bunch of those Hydras going to come in, has some of those Zealots still in the mix, but going to run most of them back to safety. Not going to pressure as he does that. I think that actually could have been an opportunity to pressure Firefist, but deciding not to do so. Still has those observers, High Templars, Zealots. Going to go for that for the 3 o'clock. I'm sorry. And as soon as he gets 3 base on 3 base, he's going to be able to pump a heavy army. He's already pumping a rather heavy army. I think he's on 8 gateways, I believe, 7 or 8 gateways. Pumping quite heavily. Not quite trying to force an engagement. Gonna probably lose a High Templar to a snipe. He's gonna get 1 storm off from a forward. High Templar does get 1 storm off. That hits very well for him. Just slowly backing off. More storms going to come in as those Hydras and the Lurkers try to come in from all sides. Those Zerglings alongside, and those Observers still in there, not being sniped at all. No Hordes coming in to support. Just Hydras trying to continue pushing out. Some Lurkers coming in the back to support. Another storm not hitting quite well. Firefist finally dodging one fairly well. Finally dodging one. But at the very least, forcing JangBi back for now, and really needs to think about picking up on an Expo. Of course, the fact that he decided to go for the 6 o'clock instead of going for what Zergs, usually Zergs these days, decide to pick up that base across their other base, in this case would be Firefist lower left hand, main and eventually transition to that natural as well, or rather pick up the natural first sometimes, and usually pick up the main then naturals first if I remember correctly. That way you have 4 gas, and you can basically sunken up your own natural and your main, and you can kind of defend and reinforce that because the reinforcement is not too long. You can still reinforce and save that in case the attacks come in. But now it's going to be a little bit harder for him to pick up a 4th base. So I'm wondering what Firefist is going to do to try to rectify this position. He has finally some Scourge out there. Don't see any Overlords close by to really make him useful against those Observers. Lurker's going to come in, going to get stormed as soon as they even think about burrowing. Double Storm. Kill several Lurkers as soon as they think about even doing anything. High Templar Zerg is going to come in, though. Another High Templar Storm coming in very nicely. Just every single thing Firefist sends to JangBi, he has a Storm waiting right on top of it. They're going to be able to at least do something, push JangBi back a little bit, Zerglings and Hydras finally. But I think just Firefist, the problem with what he's doing here is that he's going to be able to keep up this attack, but only for a while. Soon enough, his pressure is not going to continue on. We saw him observe getting snapped. There's still some nice storms from JangBi, trying to slowly keep him back. Morphing another Archon. Dragoons fighting toe-to-toe with these Hydras and these Lurkers. Dragoons, they're not the best units against Hydras, but they can fight with them toe-to-toe, and they're extremely effective against the Lurkers. So I understand why he goes for this heavy Dragoon army composition. Although he does have some Zealots running around, acting as buffers. A lot of cannons going down at this 3 o'clock. He knows it's threatened at the moment. Doesn't want it to get picked off. Sending some Zealots to help support it at the moment. One-Eye Templar at that location might actually also be a good idea, although I fully understand if he wants to instead keep that in his army. Firefist still only keeping on 3 bases. He really wants to think about it. I understand he wants to go and finish this off now. He wants to keep up this pressure while he still can, but he's sending out a drone, I assume, to put up another base, and really needs to do that. Pro going down. JangBi already put up a pylon at the 6 for the possibility of picking up this base for himself in the future. Probably is going to run around and try to stay alive. Staying alive. Staying alive. No. I still feel that just the way the game is progressing is still in JangBi's favor. He has 3 bases against Firefist's 3, and Firefist, despite constantly pumping units like crazy, just hasn't been able to do the amount of damage to JangBi he had to. Just hasn't been able to do that fatal amount of damage to, make JangBi extremely vulnerable to him, to put JangBi in a very bad position. Picking off a base would have been exactly what he needs to do, but now he has to pick up his own base pronto and defend it well, so he can at least continue trying to fight toe-to-toe, because JangBi is definitely economically superior at the moment. He's going to have a rather large amount of forces. He can reinforce fairly quickly as well. Has High Templars always waiting on those storms. Has a bunch of Dragoons, some Zealot as well, but going still very heavy on Dragoons with High Templar support. Weapons 3 at this point, while we see the Hydras of Weapons 2 upgrades. No Carapace upgrades, which I find, just kind of odd, actually. I feel a Carapace upgrade, which would really help him. A second Evolution Chamber would be a big help to help his forces survive those Dragoons attacks and Zealots attacks better. JangBi going to pick up a 4th base, while a Zerg player, Firefist has no 4th of his own. Did I say 3rd? I meant 4th. If I accidentally said 3rd, sometimes I confuse myself. But yeah, JangBi going to pick up a 4th, while Firefist hasn't even thought of that, apparently. I thought he sent out a drone road to possibly pick up a base, but I just don't see whether he's actually done that. It has quite a decent-sized army. Lurkers going to come in. They're all going to get stormed all over the place. Hydra's going to come in from the left side. One more pincer coming in from Firefist. I think this is going to be his last shot at this, but I just don't think he has enough. More storms. All the Lurkers are dead now. Nothing but Hydras, and against this huge count of Dragoons, okay, quite a few of them are dying, but I think there's just too many Dragoons. High Templar are also in the mix, just running in close. Some Hydras coming in to reinforce, so this might still be an opportunity for him to get, but a lot of Hydras dying. Some Zealots also in the mix right now. They're going to possibly push those Hydras back. Lurkers, one Lurker coming in to support as well. Dragoons, however, I think in a large enough number to push this back. Zealots also. Weapons 3 on those Dragoons really coming in handy now, ripping those Zergs to pieces. Focusing. Oh, beautiful play. Focus firing those forces. And leaving Firefist with absolutely no chance to GG. Economically behind in every way possible. When you got a Protoss player picking up more bases than you have, you know you're in bad shape. So he tried to go for that last-ditch effort attack. He knew if he could take down that army, he'd be able to safely pick up a base, even to pick up that entire lower left-hand corner. But no shot for him. I understood his plan. Tried to go for a Hydra break first, then just tried to keep up the pressure, but just didn't go there. So JangBi's going to get a rematch with Zero here. Wondering whether we're going to see some crazy antics there or not. But he still has a chance to get out of this group, get into the round 16. So it's what you get with somewhat stacked groups. We already have Hwas in round 16, but either JangBi or Zero are going to be forced to knock out. Kind of saddens me a little bit, but hey, what you going to do? So moving on to the final match, guys. Wrenching out. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed. GG.